Hey, Kristen, can we follow along? Is there an app for this also for the cell phone,
For
the iPhone for RWT?
There isn't. So RWT Connect is completely mobile compatible, so we don't have an app for it, but you can use everything on mobile. I will tell you, neighborhood reports are easier to build on tablet or desktop, but I have built them on the fly on mobile myself before, so I know it's doable. Um, but this might be a case of you may just want to go ahead and listen in this case, and then maybe go back and try to build a couple as we go. We're always here to help after class too.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get started, everyone. Again, I thank you all for coming this morning. I know we are right after a holiday weekend. So if you are joining us, this is the July 8th class for Neighborhood Reports. If you are looking at this in the future, things might have changed, but one of the reasons we are giving this class is because things have changed since the last video that we recorded on this. So we're going to get a nice clean recording for you guys so that you guys can go back and reference it in the future with all the changes and upgrades that we have made. I'm Kristen Fredericks. If you have not met me before on screen or in person, I am in the marketing department, more specifically on the web support team, and I'll be taking you through neighborhood reports today. All right, just as a matter of housekeeping, again, just as a reminder, if you do have any questions during this class, just go ahead and either raise your hand. There should be a little button that has a little hand icon there with a little raise section in it, or you can throw it into chat. We do have a couple people here who are here to help us, including Haley, our assistant down in training, and she'll keep an eye on things for me. I do have a couple of natural breaks in this class. I promise not to keep you too long, so I'll probably answer your questions during a break if need be. All right, so let's go ahead and get started today. Give me a second to share my screen. There we go, and we'll go ahead and get started. I am only on one screen today instead of two, so I am following along on chat on my tablet on the side here. So Haley, do feel free to interrupt me if need be. All right, so let's take a look at these neighborhood reports. So what are the neighborhood reports that are available on RWT Connect? It's a way for you to have a web page on your website that shows all of the different things that are happening either in a neighborhood or a specific area or a market. It can be for niche markets. It can be for specific property types. It doesn't have to be just for neighborhood reports, but we do use them mostly for neighborhoods and areas, which is why the product is actually called Neighborhood Reports. Before I get started and show you how to build one, I actually want to show you the two different reports that are going to be available for you so that you can kind of gauge which one you might want to use in the future when you start to build these for your website. So the first one that you're seeing here today is our Eagle Harbor Market Report. This is for a community that's actually in Carrollton, Virginia. It's a great one to use because it's a lot of properties in there and they have a lot of turnover as they continue to build out. So there's always a lot of activity here. But I want you to notice that we start out with a couple of things. One of the things I promised during this class is that you would be able to see how you could generate more leads and generate more traffic to your website. First thing I want you to notice is that button right there at the very top of this page that says receive this report weekly. Sign up here. This report can actually go out in an email to clients or customers, people who come to visit your website. It's a great call to action if you're going to end up sharing these on social media or an email that says that you can sign up to receive this report weekly. The fun thing about this report is that we can actually send this report to our client database as well. And I'm actually going to go ahead and show you that when we go and build everything together. But it is also a blind call to action on here. So they have to be in your database to sign up. But if they do click sign up here, it's just going to ask them for their email address and it will go ahead and send it to them. And of course, that comes to you as a lead. Let's take a look at what this report entails. So this one starts out with a great photo up here at the top, and then you have a couple of sections that you can fill out. So this one says your Eagle Harbor Market Report. This is updatable by you. So you can put the subdivision name in here, you can put the area, you can put even a call to action if you wanted to. You do have a small area of text down here at the bottom. You can actually put something in here, maybe another call to action. It can be a little bit of information about the community. Maybe you can just tell people what to expect from this report. So this is also an updatable field for you as well. You do have this little white box here. This one has something kind of weird in it. We were experimenting with this one, but this actually is a box that has an advanced editor in it. If you've taken any of my other classes, you know that an advanced editor allows you to add additional things like a video or more photos or text or other calls to action and things like that. You don't have to use it. It actually is one of those optional fields. But if you do maybe have a little video tour of the neighborhood that you've taken, or you just want to put something in there, maybe you have a great little video introduction about you and your services, another nice thing that you can put in that section in there as well. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to put additional information about the neighborhood. So if you maybe have a great write-up about the neighborhood, or you just want to talk through maybe some of your marketing strategies or things like that, you can also put that in that box. Scrolling down though, we kind of get to the meat and potatoes of these neighborhood reports. So these are actually going to show all the different little snapshots of what's going on in the neighborhood. So these neighborhood reports are different than our SEO pages or search engine optimization pages, which usually only show actives. These neighborhood reports actually show pendings and solds as well. So this little top section here is going to give you just a snapshot of what's going on with the data that it's bringing in. So in this case, there were 2 listings in the last 14 days, no pendings and solds. We have currently 10 for sale, 34 average days on the market. Our newest listing was taken on the 3rd. I'm sure that as people get back into the office today, that'll update. The nice thing about this is this actually does update automatically. So this information here is going to be based on a saved search that we're going to create. And so it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of page. So it's going to bring in all of the updated MLS information, all the new houses and the pendings and solds as it goes. Once you have that search set up, it'll automatically update this page as it updates the MLS. Notice you'll also see some great stats over here for recently sold. And if there were pendings, there would actually be another column in here for pendings as well. As we continue to scroll down, here we go into the for sale. So these properties are for sale in the neighborhood right now. And every time you click on one of these, it's actually going to take it to the listing detail page. Just as a reminder that if they're on your website, so this one I happen to be on Ralston Audain's website right now. If I clicked on this, all the branding would be going to Ralston. It doesn't matter whose listing it is. This is one of the nice things about creating it for your website is all the listing detail pages, regardless of who the listing agent or listing broker is, will all be branded to you because it's on your site. It's going to go ahead and give you some additional information. These are just some stats that are coming out. Here's some solds for the properties. Now these solds are going to be recent. They're not going to go back 3 years. These neighborhood reports are meant to be up-to-date reports all the time. So these solds will only go back about 90 days. So just be prepared for that. If you know that you work a particular neighborhood and you're like, oh, I know something sold in there in January, but it's not on this report. It's because these are active neighborhood reports, they're meant to be up to date. So it's only going to give you the solds for the last 90 days. So just remember that as you're making these pages. Going to go ahead and scroll down here. It's going to give us some additional information. As I can continue to scroll down on this page, it's going to give us some more stats. Notice we start to get into more calls to action. So all of this would, of course, be replaced with your information on your website. It's going to give us a market summary report. What's going on in the zip code? So it's going to actually pull in the zip code from the different properties that are available in here. If, for whatever reason, you have a search that's crosses over multiple zip codes, this can sometimes happen if you're pulling a whole city or if you're pulling a subdivision, much like, let's say, something like Kiln Creek, which actually crosses over into Yorktown and Newport News that has different zip codes. The different zip codes will show up in this drop down so people can actually choose the zip code. There's that market summary report, just going to let you know kind of as an overall what's going on in the market. We continue to scroll down and we have some more information here. It's going to bring in some demographics for us, some different schools, more contact information. And here we get all the way to the bottom. And of course, there's a little contact form on the bottom and footer of every single website that we have available through RWT Connect. So that's just one report. If we continue to go through, though, we have a second report that we've added that allows you to have a customizable call to action. So the calls to action on this page are set in stone. They're just to contact you. It's going to put your face and your name and your information and your contact information on there. But I'm going to scroll over right here and I'm going to open up a different one. So this is one that we've created for a whole city. So this is Chesapeake. I want you to notice that a couple of things have changed here. Notice that receive this report weekly is a lot bigger and a lot bolder, and it has a big sign up button. It's not above the page, or above the picture, it's below it. There's that box that we built out. Remember I said there was an advanced editor right there before you got into all the information. We did go ahead and just put a little bit of information about Chesapeake in that area there. And then as we continue to scroll down, it's going to start to give us some more information. Find your next home, your neighborhood summaries, what's going on. Here's some sold properties. There's that information again. Here we get into some stats about what's going on. It's going to ask us to connect. We're going to continue to scroll down. It's going to give us that market summary report with our zip code. Continue to scroll down. It's going to give us some school information about what's close by. It's going to ask if we want to receive this report weekly again. These call to actions here are set in stone. But as we get down here, we have this new section here, which is actually a customizable call to action. So in this particular case, we went ahead and used the how much is my home worth option here, but this could be anything. So we added this photo, we added this text, and we added the call to action button. But if you wanted to change this to be something like download my buyer's guide or download my seller's guide or get to know more about the area, if you had an area guide or something like that, you could certainly use it for that. We've had agents who use this for a contact us or get to know me, and they sent it off to their biography. We've had really happy client photos in here with a testimonial that says, view more happy clients or something like that. So this is a customizable call to action in this spot here. So just remember this when you go through and you see the two different reports, that you have one that's really easy to set up. It's just marrying a saved search to a page, and it's going to go ahead and give you those stats, and it's going to go ahead and give you those properties. And then we have this slightly different version that's going to give you that customizable call to action that you're going to have to put something down here. If you don't have something in mind, I would highly recommend the how much is your home worth. It's just another lead generator, or something really easy like, to contact you, to go to your contact form, or maybe even go to your bio or your clients, something like that. All right, before I show you how to make these, were there any questions to start? Everybody okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at how to build one of these. They were actually really easy. One of the things you'll notice here, we just need a page and we need to tell it what kind of data that's on there. So we need a save search. We're just going to marry those two together and hit publish, and we'll be ready to go. They're fairly easy to make. All right, I'm going to go to one more screen here. I'm going to pop into RWT Connect. So I'm right here at RWT Connect, and we have an area to build neighborhood reports. I'm going to go ahead and take you back to the beginning, show you how to get there. So when you sign in to RWT Connect, I happen to be on my training account today. So here's my training account for Mary Agent. This is your dashboard right here. You're going to go up to that hamburger menu in the upper left-hand corner. See these little three lines? We actually call that the hamburger menu. It's the official term for it. And if you click that and go under marketing right here, you'll see neighborhood reports. If for whatever reason you don't see some of these buttons, it means that you do not subscribe to the Site Builder website product. And this obviously won't work without the website because we need a place to publish it. If you are interested in getting a Site Builder website, do let us know at websupport@rwtown.com. We'll be happy to send you the form to fill out to get that, and also some more information about the product. We can also give you a kind of a walkthrough of what's available on there. All right, so again, we've gone to that hamburger menu and we've gone to marketing and neighborhood reports. Great. So remember I said this was going to be nice and easy. We're going to go ahead and build a search. We're going to choose that page. So we're going to choose the kind of page that we want, and we're going to marry the two things together. And then we are going to actually be able to assign this to clients if we want to. If we already have a bunch of clients in the database in your CRM that you want to send this weekly report to for this specific neighborhood or city or whatever it happens that you want to build, you can do that as well. We do have a section in here called review. and it goes to our email insights. One of the nice things about Site Builder is that you do have a lot of different reports so that you can see how your website is doing, how your email marketing is doing, all sorts of different things. One of those email reports is called the Email Insights. You can actually see who has opened it, who has unsubscribed or subscribed to something, how often they've looked at things and things like that. So you can see how effective it's being if you're sending it out to clients. But for right now, we're really going to focus on these two, building a search and then building a report page. So let's go ahead and send them or let's go ahead and create them a search. So I did see a comment that came in that can we do them quarterly instead? These are actually set up to go weekly. We don't have a product that sends something quarterly. So I've gone ahead and just clicked the Create Search button. All right, and that's going to take me to the search that's available on my website. And this is the exact same type of search that's available if somebody were to come onto your website and look at your website. And we're just going to go ahead and build a really nice, easy search for this particular report that we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and pick a subdivision. In fact, I think I'll show you how to build that Eagle Harbor one since there's so much data that's available in here. So we have a couple of options that we can do. We can use this search bar right here if we wanted to do something as simple as a city or just a zip code or a particular MLS number or school district. We can go ahead and do that. If you wanted to have a page that landed on maybe just everything for Grassfield High School, you could certainly use that search bar. All you would have to do is start typing. It's going to try to figure out what you're looking for. And if I put something like Grassfield, notice it has Grassfield High right here. And I could click that and it would go ahead and give me all the results for Grassfield High School. I could build a page just for Grassfield High School homes that were in that school district. So the question is, could we do Allenton? Yeah, do you want to do Allenton? We'll do Allenton. Let's do Allenton while we're here. We can do that. And if we wanted to go ahead and do a subdivision, we're actually going to go ahead and go to this button here called Filter. It's going to give us a lot of different options. So let's go ahead and click that Filter button. And it's going to bring us to all sorts of different things that we have available here. Just remember, on this particular search, we need the active, contingents, pendings, and solds, because we're building neighborhood reports. So we want all of that data. We want to be able to show people what's happening in the market. So it's not just an active search like you would send to an active client. It's actually one that contains actives, pendings, and solds, so they get that full report experience. So I am going to go ahead and click the sold button as well. So here we have active, pendings, and solds. And then I'm going to scroll down. Notice we have all these different options as well, but we can come down here to a button called subdivision. So all we have to do is search for the subdivision by name. Now the question will come in, are all the subdivisions for all the MLSs that we support in the subdivision search? And they are. So if you are trying to find something out of Chesapeake Bay and Rivers, up in Gloucester or Williamsburg or Richmond, or in Flex MLS, if you're using NCR, if you're using OBX, or if you're using RAIN, I'm not going to leave out RAIN, they are in the subdivision search. So if you just start typing, it's going to start to bring it in. So let's do Allenton while we're here, since that was a request. So there's Allenton. So notice that it's bringing in Allenton, Allenton North, and Allenton West from RAIN MLS. Now, if Allenton was available as a subdivision in another MLS, maybe it crossed over, you could choose which one you wanted to use. So based on this, you can go ahead and choose, let's just say Allenton from RAIN MLS. Now, do we need to include Allenton North and Allenton West in here? I'm not as familiar with this as some of you might be, so I'm going to just pretend that we do, even if we don't. And I just want to show you that you can actually include multiple subdivisions in here. So for example, if you're working in an area, let's just say something like Greenbrier, which we know has a lot of different subdivisions in it, and we need to go ahead and choose multiples. You can go ahead and do that and create something as a whole for Greenbrier. Maybe you want to do something for like the north end of Virginia Beach. We know that there's multiple areas in that. You could certainly go ahead and do that as well. So let me go ahead and pull in all of Allenton here, since that was a yes, please. So we have Allenton, Allenton North, and Allenton West. So again, just showing you that you can put in multiple subdivisions in one search. You can use one or you can use more than one. You can also, by the way, just I want to point this out here, you can search by MLS area in here as well. So for those of you who like to use, area, 113 or whatever it happens to be coming out of your different MLSs, you can certainly search by MLS area in here as well. So we don't need to put any other criteria here. There's a lot of criteria we can put in here. But we're just going to go ahead and use this one for Allenton because that's the page that we're making on here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. And it's going to bring in our results. Now, if the results are not what you were looking for, this is a great place for you to be able to just double check and make sure that your search is what you were expecting. So in this case, we have all of these different property types. And then we're saying we want Allenton, Allenton North, Allenton West out of the MLS. If there's some other search results in here, and I'll tell you, I made the accident when I was practicing with this yesterday. I accidentally clicked the button that said open houses, and I was trying to figure out why I was getting 0 results when I was getting ready for this class. And then I realized when I was looking in my different search string up here, I had accidentally clicked open house. There wasn't one, and that's why I was getting 0. All I did was go back to filter, uncheck the open house box, and it gave me the correct information, and I was ready to go. So just remember, if you're not getting the results you're looking for, it probably means something got maybe clicked or something like that in the filter. So just double check it. These results look really good. Everything looks fine. I'm going to go ahead and save this search. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Save Search button. And it's going to ask me to label my search. Now, just remember that this search might be visible either now or in the future based on what page type you look at or whether you're sending this to a client. So make sure that it's not only fair housing compliant, but it's something you can find in the future. So let's go ahead and put Allenton. I'm going to put market report. And what this is going to do is separate it from a saved search that I might have that might only have like active properties in it that I'm sending to a client. This market report just mentally tells me that it also has pendings and solds in it. So it might not be something that I want to assign to a client with a property notification in the future. I don't need updates on this search, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that as the Allenton market report and go ahead and click save. And it's just going to let me know that my save search was successful. Okay. So we have the data that we want on the page. Now we just need to build the page and tell it to put the data on it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to that RWT Connect tab up here at the top. So we've done this step. We've created the search. Now we need to go ahead and create a new page. And by the way, this is giving you instructions. So it's going to select the layout for the report that you want to use on your website. Once selected, pair your report with your search. Create a new page here, and it's going to go ahead and give you that link. So it's giving you all these step-by-step instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and click the select a new page or create a page. And it's going to bring me to my interior pages. So remember, interior pages in your site builder website is anything other than your home page. So this is anything other than just the front page of your website. And I'm going to go ahead and click this little button right here that says add. See that button right there? I'm going to just kind of circle it with my mouse a little bit, add. And it's going to bring up this window that's going to ask me, what kind of page do you want to create? All of these neighborhood reports are under the category called SEO. That means search engine optimization. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it's going to ask me to do 2 things. Choose the layout that I want, and then also choose the SEO title. So that SEO title is going to become both the URL and the page. So just as a note about the SEO title here, just be really careful with this. We tend to have problems with communities like, let's just say Ford's Colony in Williamsburg. If I were to type Ford's Colony and put the apostrophe in there, it's not going to work. We're going to have some problems because the URL won't know what to do with it. It doesn't know what to do with an apostrophe in a URL. You can always go back and change it, but no special characters or things like that when you're putting this SEO title in, because this does become the report. I'm just going to use this one for example. If I put Ford's Colony right here, it's going to become, and I publish this on, let's just say Ralston's page, it'll become ralstonalldane.com/Ford's-colony, because anytime there's a space, there's going to be a dash in there. So just remember that when you're putting that in here. So for this SEO page, I'm going to put in Allenton report. So in the future, when I publish this, this will become, let's just say for this one, ralstonalldane.com or whatever your domain is, /Allenton-report, because there's a space there. And then it's going to ask me to choose the layout category. So in this dropdown, we only have one option, which is an SEO page, but it's going to bring in all the different layouts that we have available. So remember, we talked about all of the different neighborhood reports that we had available, and that's one of the reasons I showed them to you up front, is that you have a couple of different options in here. We usually use the SEO pages when we're doing just like active properties or just neighborhood pieces. If you want all of the stats and you want the calls to action and you want that market report call to action and things like that, you need to choose one of 3 pages. Either the neighborhood report or the luxury neighborhood report. So this one is Cabernet and this one is black and white, so you can choose that. This particular one, the neighborhood report and the luxury neighborhood report, this is the one without the customizable call to action at the very bottom. So remember when I showed you those. So this would be the one that I showed you that was like Eagle Harbor, where you're just going to have the page, you're going to be able to update some basic information on it, and maybe add a paragraph or things like that, but it's not going to have that customizable call to action at the bottom. If you want the customizable call to action at the bottom, you're going to want to use this one over here called the Market Insights. Okay, it's still going to give you all the different stats and the information and things like that, but it's going to have that customizable call to action at the bottom. So in this particular case, since we are using Allenton, I am going to go ahead and choose that luxury neighborhood report. I do know this is a luxury neighborhood, so that's going to be in that black and white format. That's going to have that luxury feel to it. So all I did was go ahead and click it. Notice that we have a bar around it here. And I'm going to go ahead and click create. Sorry, that keeps popping up. That'll do that on my training account, unfortunately. So on our interior pages, what's just happened is that we have added that into our list in alphabetical order. So I already used Allenton for one of my other training classes. That's why it's in here. But here's that one that we just built, Allenton Report. So it's going to drop us right here, and anything that you put in here is going to be in alphabetical order. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this page in order to tell it what save search I want and also add some basic information in here. So here I am on my Allenton report. I'm going to slide right over here to the right, and we have edit page right here. If I go ahead and click that, it'll bring us up to a blank page. Now, remember I said this is where you can have all of those different editable fields on here. It's going to let you change your neighborhood report. It's going to let you change this little paragraph under here. And of course, it doesn't know what to do with this because there's no data that we've told it to put on this page quite yet. So this is what the page is going to be built like, but this is all the stuff that we can do on it is over here on the left. And the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and click that page content, and it's going to open it up, and it's going to ask us to do everything kind of right in order on here. So if I click on page content, it's going to go ahead and start the process here. So let's just start at the very first category, interior page. If I click that, notice it's going to be here's what houses are going for in your neighborhood. You can see that right there. And then something called your neighborhood report. Let's go ahead and personalize this. So we'll put in Allenton, Virginia Beach neighborhood report. Okay. And then you can go ahead and leave, here's what houses are going for in your neighborhood, or maybe you want to go ahead and put a call to action in here. Whatever it is, you can go ahead and change it. I'm going to go ahead and leave that in that case. Remember, I did say you had that advanced editor option, that little white bar that exists right here above the stats. So if you are going to use that advanced editor for whatever reason, you can go ahead and click that. It'll bring in the advanced editor. You can certainly add maybe a nice big long paragraph about Allenton. You could put a video in here. You could do all sorts of different calls to action, whatever you needed to do here. I'm not going to put anything in there for right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And then you do have the option to change that background image. This is the standard background image that'll come with every photo or every page. I would suggest either a typical house if you have permission to use a house maybe that you've listed and you have permission from your photographer to go ahead and use that photo in perpetuity. That might be great here. You can also maybe add like the entryway or something like that would be great to put in here as well. Or maybe even like, again, just a typical house, or in this case, maybe even a beach scene or something like that would work. All right, we have a question here is, can you go back to the page content? So that advanced editor? Sure. So here's that page content, that advanced editor option here. So maybe we wanted to type something about Allenton. I'm just going to put a little something in here. Allenton is a great neighborhood in Virginia Beach. with a lot of amenities. I am not going to type out a whole thing here. I'll go ahead and click save, and that way you can just go ahead and see where that ends up. So notice that if I go into that advanced editor here, we have Allenton as a great neighborhood in Virginia Beach with a lot of amenities. Obviously, if we wanted to add more information or photos to that, we certainly could in here as well. I would caution you not to put too much information in that advanced editor. And the reason is we want to make sure that we keep the really kind of the meat and potatoes of this report above the fold. So we don't want to put in so much information that all of this great snapshot information and the houses and things like that drop too far down the page. So when somebody pulls it up, all they see is this header and this giant box of information. We might want to just keep this, to maybe a small video, or we want to keep this to a small photo and maybe, a paragraph or so of information, just so that they can make sure that they can see the actual reports and all the different houses and things like that are going to be on the page. Let me go ahead and show you how to change that interior image. So that's going to be this background image. I can go ahead and click that, and it's going to bring up 3 categories, either the stock images, which are available again from our vendor. We also have company images that are available in here as well. And then if you have your own image, you can certainly upload that as well. If you want to add your own image, just as a reminder, you are going to have to verify that you do have the rights to use that photo. So either written permission from your photographer that you can continue to use that photo, or maybe it's a photo that you took yourself that you have available. Don't go out and just find stuff on the internet. There is a big possibility that you might get fined in the future. We did get a letter in the mail not too long ago about somebody who used a photo that they did not have permission to use, and there was a bill attached to it. It is a real thing to go out and steal photos on the internet. So just my word of caution as usual on that one. But if I go to company images here, let me just go ahead and choose maybe a nice scene from Virginia Beach. Maybe we'll grab some ocean here just for this one. We do have Virginia Beach down here at the bottom. And let me just grab some, just going to grab some ocean here just for this one. And we'll select image just so you can see how that changes. We have Allenton, Virginia Beach neighborhood report. Obviously, this would look better with maybe some more customized content from the neighborhood itself. So we're done with that top section. I'm just going to close out interior page. And then the next category is that save search. So if we open this box right here, you'll notice that we do have the Allenton Market Report right there. That's the name that we gave it. That's what we're going to go ahead and bring in. I'm going to go ahead and click it, and it's going to go ahead and bring in this information. Now, I want you to notice that it didn't automatically update this down here. Don't be afraid. Once we publish this, I promise it'll be there. Just give it a minute. We just want to go ahead and select it for right now. Anything else on this that needs to be updated, you're certainly able to do that. I want you to notice, though, on this area here, we only have the standardized kind of set in stone calls to action. There's really nothing to do here unless you wanted to go ahead and hide some of this information. So if you wanted to hide maybe the market information and the demographics, you could certainly go ahead and do that. If you wanted to, you certainly wouldn't want to hide any of the agent branding and things like that. So there's really nothing else to do on this page. We've changed that header. We've added a little bit of a paragraph here. We've selected which save search we want to do. We can certainly go ahead and publish this, which is what I'm going to do now. See this button right up here at the top? It says publish. It's going to ask us if we're sure. We'll just say okay. And it will have brought in that information. It's okay if this preview is still showing 00. It will start to populate all of this information, and it will start to be available on the website. So let me go ahead and just pop over here to the website real quick since I'm on my training account. And I'm going to put in Allenton. Remember, we made Allenton report. And there it is, bringing in those statistics. That's why I said, don't be afraid if it's not showing in your preview right away. It will, once you hit publish, it will be live on your website. This is actually live right now, ready to go. So you could certainly take this URL right here, and if you wanted to share it on social media, you could. You could obviously pop that into a postcard. You could put that into an e-card, whatever you wanted to do on there. But let's go ahead and scroll down and just take a look at what some of this information looks like. So there's a new listing, there's things for sale, there's recently sold. There's that pending. And if we continue to scroll down, it's going to give us that market summary, some information about what's going on in 23454, schools that are available nearby, and some more contact information. Did anybody have any additional questions about building one of these reports?
Hey, Kristen,
Yes.
if you've not built a market report before and you go to your website builder, and I have three options: page content, page settings, page content, navigation, homepage. When I hit content, it starts out at hero. It doesn't give me an interior page selection. So do I have to build a page to get to interiors? Or did I
So
miss something?
I'll show you the other way to get there. If you want to go straight to your interior pages instead of going through neighborhood reports, if you go up to that hamburger menu and go to site builder, you can go right here to interior pages. And it will take you to your interior pages section.
Okay.
So it says, so the question came in of how do we get to the website that we published? So what you'll want to do is go ahead and put in your domain. So I'm on my training account, so mine happens to be maryagent.rwtown.com. So I think this question is coming in from Scott. So you would be, I believe, scottmeredithhomes.com and then /, and then whatever you happen to name that page. So if you made yours Allenton Report, like I did mine, it's going to be Allenton-Reports. Remember, anytime that you put a space in something, it's going to be a dash on here. If you use something like Allenton, Virginia Beach, it'll be Allenton-Virginia-Beach. Whatever it happened to be, it'll be on there as well. All right, let's go take a look at that final step. Remember, I said we had those calls to action. So if somebody were to go on your website and was to find it and want to sign up for that report, you could certainly do that. But you are able to go ahead and assign that to clients as well. So I'm going to go back to that hamburger menu and I'm going to go back to marketing and neighborhood reports. And I'm just going to take a quick look at that third step. It's not what we usually talk about very often. But it is available here, especially if you're doing a lot of neighborhood marketing and a lot of neighborhood prospecting. This is great to be able to put onto a postcard or an e-card that says, let me know if you want to sign up for the monthly, or the weekly report about this this community, or something like that. You can certainly use those calls to action. You can also make a QR code for just that community page that you have and encourage people to go ahead and sign up for the report if they want to. But if you have a big list of people that you're working in a very specific area and you want to assign them to see it, you can certainly do that. So let's take a look at this. So I'm back at that hamburger menu, marketing, neighborhood reports. And here's that Allenton report that we made right there. And if I go ahead and click that Allenton report name, it's going to say you don't have any contacts associated with it, but I can certainly add them, and I can add them from the people that are already in my CRM. So notice that we have this button here that says add contacts or groups, especially if you've done a group with the whole neighborhood and all those email addresses. You can certainly click on that. And then it's going to ask us to go ahead and send that out there. So we can add a contact, or we can add different contacts on here. So I can maybe put in a group. I'm trying to think if I have some groups here. There we go. Maybe these are people I've met at an open house. Maybe these are people in my neighborhood. These are groups that I've already put in here. Maybe I want to send it out to a specific person. So here's Julie Abrams. I'm going to go ahead and use her. She's my test account on here. And actually, I am mistaken. We used to only have it available, but now we do have it available every 2, 3, 4, and 3 months. Good call. Great question. Glad we found out something new today. So I can also go ahead and check that box that says send that out right now. So I can go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and sign up Julie Abrams for this Allenton report that I made. And I want to send it out every 3 months or every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every week, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to go ahead and set this one for every 4 weeks and hit save. and it's saying that it's adding the selected contacts to this neighborhood report. Please wait, give it just a second, and it'll go ahead and bring in those contacts to assign. So you can go ahead and assign this to specific groups if you've had them, everybody kind of organized into different email distribution groups. You can add people individually one at a time if you want to. It's really up to you on here. This is going to take a little bit longer because we're screen sharing, but it will go ahead and add them to this particular group right now. There we go. So you can see here that Julie Abrams was added on July 8th of 2024. It was sent today, and we have a frequency of every 28 days, which is every 4 weeks. And then if we have a text service signed on to here, we can also allow text alerts as well. If for those of you who may have texting enabled on your website, that is an upgrade and an option available. You'll see those options when you go into your CRM if you hit texting, if you want those text alerts to go out as well. So that's how you go ahead and sign up a group or a contact into getting those different reports. Again, not something we usually talk about, but certainly a great feature in here, especially if you do a lot of neighborhood prospecting. Okay, so just to recap today, we've looked at a couple of different reports. We have that Market Insight report, which has that customizable call to action. We also have the neighborhood report that comes in either Cabernet or it comes in the luxury version that you can use. Those have those calls to action that are set in stone. You only have to go ahead and change that header and add the search. We showed you how to create a search today, showed you how to choose those pages, and then how to put the content together and how to publish it. And then we've also shown you how to go ahead and add your existing contacts or existing email distribution groups to those reports if you want to go ahead and send those out from your website and start driving traffic back. Before I end the class today, did anybody have any additional questions? I'm happy to take some additional questions if need be. If you don't, we're also always happy to help at websupport@rwtown.com. And again, this video is being recorded and it will be available on the training channel in the next day or two. You can certainly go back and reference all the little different sections if you get stuck, and that way you can go ahead and pause and then keep going as you go through the different steps as well. Did we have any additional questions today? I'm not seeing any into chat. Again, we're always happy to help in the future. Websupport@rwtown.com. I thank you so much for being here today. This is a great class, and thank you for taking a look at neighborhood reports. Hopefully you guys go ahead and build a bunch. Use them for search engine optimization, use them in your marketing, use them in your direct mail, use them in your e-cards, and of course your social media. I'm going to be looking out for all the different things that are going to be coming out. Thanks so much.